My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today I'm viewing Tom Ford Soleil de Feu Eau de Parfum for 50ml. It's $2.20, inspired by a bronze strokes of a fire. I was just gonna leave it there. I think it's funny. Inspired by bronze strokes of a fiery sunset light. New Soleil de Feu captures a varnished sensuality with a tuberose accord, super fantastico, warm ambers and exotic sandalwood. Do we have our bottles of Tom Ford Soleil de Feu Eau de Parfum? Are we engaged with the high self? Let's get testing. So I wanted to review this because I'm about to release my first tuberose fragrance. From working with tuberose over this last minimum of a year, I think. I really can't remember, it's all sort of jumbling together. I know how to work with tuberose. It's a really, really difficult raw material to work with. I think it's one of the most trickiest, difficult absolutes. I've shown it on camera, dropped some stupidly. Tuberose is look like big white flowers, and they are put in fat and they're left to die, and then the essence is extracted with alcohol, and then the alcohol is reduced and you get like a solid sort of like, it looks a bit like pulp. And the first, I ordered 200ml things, and the first one was solid. And it was a really difficult raw material to work with. It's kind of very dense, very solid. And then the second one, I thought that it was going to be solid, and I turned it, and about £1 million worth of tuberose fell on the table. And I was like, oh my God, adios mio, I'm going to have to throw it in the basura. So anyway, it's a tricky absolute to work with, and the assimilation of raw materials is much, much easier. Tuberose smells, it has definitely a floral quality, definitely a vanilla quality. It's kind of giving you, it can give you tropical vibes as well, but it has a spicy quality to it, and it has an unappealing quality to it. So when you smell real tuberose, you kind of know what you're dealing with. And it took a really long time to work with because it was really tricky. I didn't think I was going to release it, but I am, and I kind of love it. It contains a lot of salicylate notes, pencil notes as well, quite allergenic, so it's quite careful where you position it and the percentages and all that sort of stuff. But it gives you, within a formula, depending on how you're working with it, I think suntany, absolutely, depending on how you work with it, tropical, vanilla. It gives you that sort of vibe to it. Okay, we'll look at the atomizer. I wasn't going to do it because we all know what Tom Ford atomizers are like at this point. It's okay. So initially you're picking up on a sort of spicy note, and that's within tuberose. Absolutely, you have that sort of like floral spicy notes within this. And I think this is so clever. So I'm kind of like, I've said it before and I will say it again, that working with naturals is so much easier than assimilating aroma chemicals to smell like naturals. I think it's just much easier for me, and I'm lazy when it comes to, that's not true, I work insanely hard, but kind of when it comes down to perfumery, if I can pick the natural, it's less work and you use less raw materials, and the thought of scaling that up is a bit of a monster. So this is good. So it's changing. So you have like, this is really like tonic, and this whole range I think is reminiscent of like holidays, and you definitely get that sort of suntanny, beachy vibe with sort of tuberose based fragrances, and absolute tuberose. It's definitely giving me sandalwood. It's definitely giving me sort of like soapy quality to it as well. Not particularly radiant, and I've kind of keep saying that, and I think for this amount of money, for this sort of size, I want everything. And I want radiance, I want projection, I want longevity, I kind of want it to tell a story, I want a glorious dry down. That's what I want for, what was this, 320, was it 320? 220. 220 is, I think, enough to warrant wanting everything. I always think of it as when you go below 80, you kind of, okay, yeah, that's a lot of money, but for this amount of money, for this sort of size, you kind of want everything, and I think that's fair. But I think this has been handled really, really great. It smells reminiscent of tuberose. It sort of smells of suntan lotion. It sort of smells of, it's really well crafted. You can smell the technique in this, and there's definitely a technique when it comes down to perfume with how to work with raw materials. And I think as a perfumer, if you're an independent perfumer or whatever, and then you go to work for Tom Ford, it needs to smell like Tom Ford, and that is a skill. And this smells like Tom Ford. It's in keeping with the brand, in keeping with the Soleil range. So this fragrance is based upon Hedione, Iso Super, the vanillin molecules, sort of lactonic qualities as well, so there'll be lactonic raw materials. I think maple lactones, what, at 10% or something. Anyway, ambergris-like raw materials, ambroxan, to help give that sort of ambergris feel to the formula. Ionones to help give it a fluffy feel. So there's definitely giving that ionone feel within the formula to give it sort of fluffiness. On to my final thoughts. Do I like this? Would I wear it? Could I recommend it? Do I think it's worth the money? All of that. So on a plus side, it's keeping within the Soleil family. It smells like Tom Ford. I think the skill in this is insane, if I'm really honest with you, because to create an accord that smells natural, I think it's so highly skilled. As I've mentioned before, it is easier to get the Absolute, but the Absolute Tuberose Absolute, I think it's about £1,000 for 50 grams. I think it's 2,000 per 100. So it's really insane because of the production with it is really insane as well. I think it's lovely. The vanillin is really good. The lactonic quality is really good. It smells of, it's given me the color of the bottle, you know, the bronze, and I kind of get all of it as well. But I'm not getting insane radiance for it. I'm kind of getting, maybe in the sun, maybe if you wore this one out in the sun, maybe, I don't know. I mean, this room's starting to heat up because we're working in here and I'm not really getting that from it. But I think it smells all right. The price is a little bit too high. I quite like it. I'm going to be generous and give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's all right. I think the price is like insane. I'm kind of giving 8 out of 10 because I think the perfumer did insane job. This is like really great. Adding on a Marpus, I think is working with tuberose for this last year. I know you got to support it and all that sort of stuff. So the perfume did like an insane job on this. So I'm giving them an extra mark for that. So I can say this because it's in the marketing. It says tuberose accord. So I kind of think it doesn't even contain tuberose. That's why I'm taking a mark off. But I think the ability to create a tuberose accord that smells like this is, bravo to the perfumer. So I think 8 out of 10 is really, really good. So we love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for fascinating, interesting content, lots of moving hands and lots of fragrance views. Hope you're staying safe and well. See you soon.